I started off my life as a 13-year-old runaway, and then I left home with a GED at age 15 and never looked back. So my entire life was trying to prove that I wasn't the loser I was told I was for the first 15 years. And when I had the chance to go back to college, I saw it as an opportunity to change my stars. This was my opportunity. Other kids had all the benefits in life. I had none. This was my opportunity to catch up. But I knew that it was going to take hard work because no one was going to pay attention to a homeless runaway kid that had no family background or no pedigree at all. So I got used to the idea that in order to succeed, I had to overperform. And there was a couple of sort of, I want to call them mantras, but they were kind of things that I would say to myself, which is the first one was, we never want to let our past define our future. I didn't want to let all of the traumas and struggles and things of my childhood define what kind of future I wanted to build for myself. I didn't want that to define me.
Right.
But that meant that I had to redefine it myself. When I was in college, I was functionally illiterate when I entered college. By the time I graduated undergraduate, I had 3 degrees. Wow. I was at the top of the dean's list. I had been given an intern at IBM, and I didn't even interview for it. I was given a full scholarship to go to grad school at U of A, which was where I was going at the time. I was also accepted into Harvard MBA program, but I didn't have the money to go. And I got a letter of accommodation from the chairman of the Federal Reserve. And all of that was because I had designed a macroeconomic model that had outperformed the Federal Reserve and changed how we build economic models to this day. Wow. Now, I didn't realize really the significance of what I had done. I was just trying to get a grad degree. I was just trying to get a scholarship.
Right.
But because I was out of money, and I really wanted to get my master's, and I really wanted to continue my education. But while I was in college, I started to fall in love with men of the Renaissance. Okay. Now, the Renaissance was important because in our day and age, we like to have people who are specialized. I'm not just a doctor. I'm a doctor of this really narrow form of medicine, right? I'm not just a developer, a coder. I'm a coder of specific types of application types. Right. And so we built such a complicated world that in order to succeed, many people have to specialize. That just felt so restrictive and boring to me. It was like, no, I want to get the master's degree in business administration. I want to learn about computers and economics and society and art and medicine and science and physics. And, I want to know more about quantum computing. I just want it to be a sponge and soak everything up. Once I learned how to love learning, I couldn't get enough. Now, when you go into your career, they solve that for you because they work you 18 hours a day and you don't have time for anything other than a couple of meals, a bathroom break, and a few hours of sleep. And so you spend your career in that constant pushing forward. But even then, I still wanted to reinvent myself and continue to reinvent myself. And so I had started off in college. I was a musician. At one point in my career, I had a friend of mine who knew I was a songwriter, asked me to write some songs for a kids project he was doing with Nickelodeon. Those songs wound up on the desk of an executive at Disney Records.
Wow.
I don't know how, my friend sent them there. I never sent them out.
Right.
They called me up and asked me if I would write some songs for them. And so my life was always pursuing new things. When I at one point in time, I moved out of a condo because I really wanted to go more sailing and do more adventures, but I couldn't afford both. And I was a single parent. So I moved my son and I onto a 50-foot sailing yacht. And I got a Coast Guard charter captain license, and I got Patty's certified master diver's license. And I would go shark feeding without a cage and exploring wrecks off of Catalina Island. And I wanted my life to be as full, and as I was given an opportunity. I was given a gift of an education, and it changed my life. And the last thing I wanted to do was be lazy with that gift.
Yes.
And so everything since has been a pay it forward
Oh,
of
so
life,
nice.
trying to live a better life, become a better person, solve some real problems, both in businesses and culture and other things, explore some of the mysteries that other people haven't solved, see if I could take my shot at it.